Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on Loud and Proud. I'm just going to start off the video here by giving you guys a quick little peek at my truck. I just had the front end leveled out here the other day with a buddy of mine to help me do it. Already gives it a little bit better stance, which is what I'm wanting. And also mud terrains coming in a couple days here, you're going to see. Also, I had a couple guys ask if I could show them the leveling kit up close just so they can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. This is basically what it looks like right here. There's a section of it that goes down through the coils to kind of use as a little bit of a guide, I guess. But then basically it's just right here. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just a spacer, just like what it says it is. I mean, it's just to create that gap. And then basically it's just stock ride feel and everything else. But it actually feels better because I finally have my new shocks on there. And these are the new strut towers as well, for those of you who didn't see that. This was all in one video. We did the leveling kit, strut towers, and shocks. So definitely go check that video out. It's just a few videos back in the playlist for 1996 Cummins build. So definitely go check that out if you want to see what went on there. A really good video, and I highly recommend it. Gonna have one heck of a view here for this Q&A. Got the beautiful but old 7.3 here, 2002. Pretty good shape, minor rust, but you know. And the beautiful first gen 12 valve Cummins. This is basically what got the channel started for the most part, was this truck right here. I mean, channel's not very far in. I mean, we're just beginning here and with what I want to do with it. Those of you who subscribed in the beginning, this was a truck basically that got people's interest and got people looking and watching. So I really do appreciate everybody who's been around since the beginning. Definitely going to try to keep up with some videos on both of the pickups as we go. And we do have videos out on both of these trucks actually. We have another video from this one just a few days back. If you guys haven't checked those out, definitely go check them out. Both very, very good videos. Okay everybody, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing awesome. I definitely want to say right now, if you guys are stopping in and you're new, please subscribe. The channel's just getting started. We're getting closer to 11,000 subscribers, so I just want to thank all 11,000 of you guys. Those of you who watch the video, I really do. I mean, every single one of you guys, I really do. You guys are really making a dream come true for me here, and I really do appreciate it. Wyatt, he said, what are you getting done to your transmission, or what transmission are you getting? I have not fully decided on that, and I've heard some people say to go with either a Fire Punk or ATS, or I mean there's a lot of options out there. Or if I was just going to rebuild it, I might just rebuild it. I might just build it up to handle close to 500 horsepower. I'm probably not going to go much more than that. I'm just not one of those guys that's just like crazy about getting the most extreme horsepower performance out of a truck. I do really enjoy horsepower, don't get me wrong, I love it. But I just don't want to do anything too crazy that's just going to really sacrifice the longevity of the motor. So I know the motors can take quite a bit of beating, you know, 12 valves, but I still wouldn't want to push it more than that probably. Do you have a girlfriend? If not, how come? I don't have a girlfriend, and reason being, I guess, is just kind of waiting for the right one, I guess. Bentley, did the previous owner of your 12 valve replace the VP44? I am not entirely sure, to be quite honestly, and I don't know which 12 valve you're talking about, whether it's the one back there, the first gen, or mine. I'm assuming he's referring to mine, and I really couldn't tell you on that. He said that it has a new injection pump, but 100 horsepower injection pump, but I have no idea what that would be, if that's anything related to that or not. Evan, how come your dad wanted the first gen Cummins even though you guys owned other brand trucks? The first gen is just kind of one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter if you're a Ford guy, Chevy guy, you know, whatever. It's just a cool freaking truck. I mean just look at that thing sitting back there. Who wouldn't want to drive that thing? If you were just going out to buy like an old school diesel, you didn't know what to go with, you didn't know about trucks or motors or how to maintain them, or you know, whatever, just how technical you had to be to own a truck. Those trucks are pretty freaking bulletproof. There's going to be guys that argue that, but the 12 valve is pretty much like the holy grail of diesel trucks. It's kind of like the foundation. Like it's kind of like where it started. I mean, it's just really cool. I mean, it's not where the first diesel came along. I mean, diesel's been around for years and years before that, but I'm saying, like, for, you know, consumer pickups, that just seemed to be like a really like the first really solid motor that was put in these trucks that was just like reliable as I'll get out, and just, you know, just a truck that now when you look back, everybody just loves them, everybody wants to buy them, just that type of thing. And my grandpa had one, we've always loved them, and so we found that one, it was clean, and I was like, Dad, I would go with that first gen Cummins. That truck is just something that you're not going to be able to come across very often, and for up north it is something that you're not going to come across often. It's pretty mint. There's some minor rust under, you know, on the rear, you know, fenders, but given that it had the moldings on it and there was dirt up in there, I mean, that's just, it's kind of expected. I mean, if you rip the moldings off your old first gens, you're going to find a lot of them. The paint's either chipped, rotted, or you're going to have some rust on there. So anyways, that's why we wanted the first gen, and just a very good truck overall. Cole, he said, what are your plans as engine upgrades in the second gen? I kind of touched on that a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to put a pusher system on my 12 valve as well. In terms of pusher system and injectors, not entirely sure. All that fuel pump and all that crap, like, I'm not entirely sure on all that type of stuff in terms of what I need to go with to get to 500 horsepower. But, you know, there's a website I was on one time, and I think it was like 12 valve recipes, or, you know, Cummins recipe. I think it was 12 valve recipes, and basically it tells you, you know, you select the range of years the trucks are going for, and I would go from 94 to, you know, 98s, whatever. Basically, they have it all broken down into how much money you're willing to spend, and then how to get this, you know, and then all these different mods that you're going to need in order to make the truck not only perform like that, but, you know, to be able to maintain that and be reliable, and basically what all the parts are going to cost and what parts they recommend, all that good stuff. So it's a really helpful website, and so I just have to go up there probably and at least see what they recommend for, you know, in terms of injectors and all the ins and outs. And so I'm gonna look into that too. But I get asked all the time, when are you gonna start doing horsepower mods? When are you gonna start doing horsepower mods? Why aren't you gonna just do crazy burnouts with your old tires? Like, I mean, if I was a typical teenager, typical 17-year-old, I would be like, heck yeah, I'm getting new tires, shred these tires off my truck, just burn them, you know, to the pavement. But the reason I'm not doing something like that is because then if I destroy my transmission, where am I going to get $4 grand to replace my transmission? You see what I'm saying? So I kind of think about that stuff at least a little bit more than typical kids, I guess, because most guys in general. But I get asked all the time, you know, why haven't you done this? Why aren't you going to do a burnout? Why haven't you done tons of horsepower mods? It's like, I'm trying to make sure that I do things systematically to where it makes sense, and it's going to make, you know, get the most out of the truck and last the longest. So that's why I don't do stuff like that. But yeah, for horsepower mods, I'm not entirely sure. Ethan Ford, if you didn't do YouTube, what would you do for a living? YouTube is what I'm intending on doing for my livelihood for the most part. Really enjoying it. It's really getting good. It's not going too crazy yet, but, you know, like I said, you know, many times, this is just the baby stages of the channel. What would I do full time? I've always been into outdoors and stuff like that in terms of hunting and you know, deer management, stuff like that. If I wasn't doing this for YouTube, I would probably do my outdoors channel, and even if it wasn't making me money per se, I would promote things that would make me money through that audience. So when it comes to habitat, you know, consulting maybe, or, you know, deer lease hunts, or, you know, whatever, or products, you can promote that stuff through YouTube. And so I think when people think YouTube full-time, they think all you do is make videos. And for some guys, like, I know some automotive channels that are making crazy amounts of cash every month, they're probably not too worried about selling a t-shirt or a hat or something like that, because they're like, why would I mess with that when I can just make my video and I'll still be fine. But for the most part, YouTube revenue can really just be very minimal in terms of compared to what you can make through your audience, in terms of promoting products and services and stuff like that. So I would find a way through social media and stuff like that to reach out to tons of other people to create some kind of living or service that way. Matthew, he said, when are you getting your new wheels and tires? I'm not going to say exactly when that's going to be, but I do have an appointment, and it's going to get done very soon. What does your dad think about your truck? He's not standing here right now. I don't think he minds it. I think he likes it. I don't think he's really like, he doesn't really have too much opinion on that kind of thing when it comes to like my vehicles. It's just kind of like, you want to get this? Yeah, go for it. Dad, should I buy this? If that's what you want, you know what I mean? Just like that type of thing. Just kind of like, if that's what I want, he's cool with it. Not really like too opinionated on that, I guess. What's one thing you don't like about your truck? That's from Lane. Just to make that a very short response, I have a video called Top 6 Things I Hate About My Cummins, and that will be in my 96 Cummins playlist. How much should I save up for if I'm looking to buy a truck, and what are some things I should look for? To buy a decent diesel truck, for a starter, let's say, if you're looking for maybe a first gen or an old 7.3 or you know, second gen like mine, a pretty safe bet is 10 grand give or take for a reliable, solid diesel. Now, you can find some good deals, because I get some guys sometimes like, oh, you paid too much for your second gen. I got a truck in Cali that's rust free for the same price. Well, I don't live in Cali. I live up north in the Midwest, and so it's just kind of like the market is so different, town to town, state to state. You know, there's so many variables. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, you got a terrible deal because in California I got a better deal. I'm, you know, 2,000 some odd miles away from me or more. I don't really care what kind of deal you got in California, for an example. Like, it really doesn't matter. It just really depends on where you're at, and it also comes down to just what you're willing to pay for the truck and what they're willing to sell it for. So I would say 10 grand give or take would be a good thing for, you know, a good solid old diesel and to look for. I get kind of funny when people ask me this, and I've said this many times, so some people might be annoyed, but I'm not like the go-to guy for that type of stuff. Like, I'm just learning these diesels as I go myself, and so when it comes to these old Dodges and, you know, stuff like that, even the Powerstroke, you're just kind of learning as you go. And I'm not like a diesel technician, I'm not a mechanic, I don't know all of the ins and outs of these trucks, every little thing to, you know, to look for. I would go to somebody who's maybe a little bit older and who's been around these trucks a lot longer, seen them in the shop, stuff like that, fixed them, for that type of thing. I can give you basic things, like I've said in my previous Q&A and stuff like that, but other than that, I'm really not the guy to go to for things to look for on a truck. Scooter 11. Okay, my question is, what editor system do you use to edit your videos? I use iMovie on a MacBook Pro. Dakota, what part of Indiana do you live in? I live in Indy. I live in northeast Indiana. What size stack are you doing and what kind? I'd probably go with SoFlo's, dual SoFlo, either 6 or 8 inch stacks with a 45-degree angle back, to kind of shoot the soot away from the cab a little bit better, because I've seen Dippin' Diesel's truck. We kind of, you know, message back and forth all the time, and Dippin' Diesel's like, his truck is so dirty with his stack, because I mean the roof just gets coated and the rest of the truck, I mean, but it's just one of those things where, I mean, when you get a stack, it's just gonna happen. And when you have a white truck, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of color truck you have, but it's just gonna show up a lot more. But I'm willing to overlook that because I just want a stack. But yeah, it's gonna get the truck real dirty. But I'm probably gonna go with SoFlo's duals, with a 45 angle back, at the top of the stack, about the height of the cab. Harlan, do you like the first gen or second gen more, and why do you like it? I have a video on this, and it's the first gen versus second gen Cummins video, and that is in my playlist as well. So definitely go check out that video if you want to see my real opinions on the two trucks. Tony, would you ever drive a gasser? Yes, I would drive a gasser. I'm not totally biased against gassers. I have nothing against them. I love them too. My first truck that I owned was a 2001 Silverado 1500 Z71, 100,000 miles on it. And I actually did kind of my own little build with that. Just kind of fun. I did tires, and then I did, you know, the lift kit, stereo system, and I did some plastic dipping and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy on that truck. But yeah, I have nothing against gassers. I would one. Trey, how many miles does the first gen have on it? 88,000 original miles. How much did your Powerstrokes cost? This one, back when we bought it new, but it wasn't new, I mean new to us. It was only 2 years old, so we bought this back in 04, and I think my dad paid, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure about $24,900 for it, I think. I might be off a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he paid like $24,900 for it. And I think the sticker we still have in the glove box, this was close to 60 grand new. This is a Lariat, so it's a full Ford crew cab and everything else. So yeah, this truck was close to 60 grand new, and we paid, I think, $24,900 for it. And my dad's new Powerstroke, I think he paid close to 55 for it, give or take, maybe 60. It's a 2013 KingRanch, and we got a really good deal on that because their trucks ordinarily went for 70,000. But basically, what was going on is the guy was ordering a bunch of 2014s, and that truck was still brand new, but just sitting on the lot. He's like, "I will give you a steal of a deal on this truck if you'd buy it off me instead of a 2014." So he's like, "What's the difference?" He's like, "There's really no difference between the 13s and the 14s." He's like, "I guess it's just you want a year newer, or are you okay with a 13?" My dad's like, "If you're gonna give me that kind of deal, I'll take a 13." So that's what he did, and got a great deal on that one. And in this truck we've had for years now. We've had this for like 13 years, I think, and then the 2013 we've had for 3 years, I believe, 3.5 years, somewhere in there. Let's see here. Luke Noble, what brand wheels are you putting on your Cummins? Fuels. Thomas, how much torque does your 12 valve make? Let's see. I have no idea, to be quite honest. I would guess 5 550-ish, maybe 600 foot-pounds of torque, but I'm thinking the truck is making about 200 horsepower right now, maybe a hair more with what's done to it, which is just shaved back fuel plate, 50 horsepower injector nozzles, and 100 horsepower injection pump. I'm guessing it's making around 200 horsepower, give or take. And that is actually, believe it or not, that is the last question for the Q&A. So, and don't forget, if you guys want to buy a gas guzzler or diesel trucks decal for your truck, those links are always in the description below. If you want to buy one of these cool trucker style Loud and Proud caps or snapback style, these are always in the description as well. They're on the same website as the decals. I love mine, and I especially love the mesh. This time of year it's freaking hot, so I can get some ventilation in my head. You know, I end up with a migraine out there working in the heat. But definitely go check out that stuff in the description below. And remember, with those decals, it says gas guzzler Loud and Proud on it. It doesn't need to be for a truck. You don't have to own a truck. You don't have to own a diesel, anything like that. I mean, you can put them on anything. I have a guy who's putting them on his dirt bike. He's putting a Loud and Proud gas guzzler decal on each handlebar of his dirt bike. You can put on your ATVs or whatever. I really don't care. I mean, it's just for everybody, just to kind of feel like you're a part of something. And I really do appreciate it if you guys buy those, because it really does help out a lot, especially since with YouTube, you only get paid once a month. So it's just kind of like a really long wait of kind of like financial absence, I guess you could say, kind of waiting on things. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I answered any questions for you guys, awesome. If you want to ask any more questions, definitely add me on my Snapchat, which I will leave right here, and my Instagram. And then if there are any more questions that I want you guys to send me, and I will always ask on my Snapchat and my Instagram sometimes. Send me any questions for the Q&A, and you guys can feel more part of that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment below, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.